In this lecture I will show you how to create an WordPress blog in AWS not within 5 minutes. So WordPress is basically a website blog where you can create your own website. Either you have multiple numbers of protocol stacks are there. So one of the popular protocol stack for WordPress is the Bitnami WordPress stack. And Bitnami WordPress stack is basically a one-click install solution for WordPress. You can create your own virtual machine. On that virtual machine, if the Bitnami you have to install the Bitnami as a protocol stack. On top of that, you can install the WordPress, or AWS has provided you one Amazon machine image that is already built, where that particular virtual machine is already inbuilt with the Bitnami, so that it will enable you to run and install and configure the WordPress in a faster manner. So first of all, we have to create an instance. We have to launch one instance in AWS. Now instead of creating a normal AWS instance, we will go to the AWS marketplace, where we will find out already built in WordPress instances there. So if you type WordPress, so there are several WordPress protocol already inbuilt protocol stacks are there. One is the that is certified by Bitnami, that is installed on top of Ubuntu 16.04. Another is Kusanagi for WordPress that is powered by Animoto. So these are basically chargeable. So only Ubuntu also chargeable, but the charge is less. So better we are selecting that WordPress certified by Bitnami. That is the most popular one to run that instance instantly. And one thing is that as if you choose the free tier, that case you don't have to pay anything for creating and launching the instance. That is for the Amazon EC2. But for the software one, you have to pay a little bit of money, or for the running the EBS elastic block storage, you have to pay $0.10 per GB month for provision storage. And whatever be the what type of services you are taking, based on this you also will be charged. Now for the testing purpose and for this tutorial purpose, we will select the lowest free tier usage, that is the T2 Micro. Now in T2 Micro and Nano, both are in free tier stage, but this T1.micro, that will provide you half GB of RAM and one virtual CPU, and the network performance is very low. This is not recommended for launching the WordPress instance. So better to go for this one, T2.micro. Now these are the parameters that we are choosing, what type of virtual private cloud we are choosing, what is the server, whether we are selecting any subnet or not, and how many CPU instance we want to launch, and what is my IAM role. Now we are adding storage. Now we in the free tier eligible, we can add up to 30 GB of storage space, but 10 GB is sufficient enough to launch this WordPress initially, or you can increase this one also, but that should be chargeable. Now create a tag. Tag is basically giving you the name out of, if you have multiple numbers of instances, which instances you are launching for which purpose. Now what type of interface connectivity you require, whether you want to go for SSH, or you can go for DNS or SMTP, or even a normal RDP protocol also. But as we are launching the Linux instances, so SSH is sufficient. And which port range you want to through which port you want to pass your data, so that it can be viewable through your system also. and what should be the IP source. So we are choosing the anywhere IP source and review and launch. Now for the right now for the hourly software fee is it is free of cost, but for the hardware we may have to pay. So these are the details of my entire instances. Now I am launching the instances. As you don't have to open your server in your systems, it will run remotely, and you have to access it remotely through the WordPress blog. So you can choose the no key pair, because key pair is only required to open your instances in your systems as a remote login through remote login. So you can go for proceed without a key pair, or you can choose an existing key pair. So I have one existing key pair is there, so I am choosing that one and launching my instance. So it will take few minutes to launch this instance. So by this time I can give you brief details about the WordPress. WordPress is in WordPress you can do the search engine optimization also. You can have your blog updated time to time. Now one running instance is there. Go to that instance. Now this instance is running and is availability zone is US West 2B data center. Now immediately you change the name so that it should be easily identifiable. Okay, now here it is showing that the status check is initializing until and unless it is completely installed properly, and it will show you 2 by 2 checks. That case you can you can access the system log also. So we need to access the system log to get the ID and password. By this time we can open the WordPress. We have to search the IP address. Now this public IP address is given to us, that is 52.202.13.123. Now paste this IP. Now remotely your WordPress is now opened from that particular server. Now this is the sample page, that is the by default page it is showing, which will also be viewed by the millions of customers. Now if you want to change that WordPress blog page, that case you have to log in with the user ID and password. That user ID and password you will get from the system log. Now until and unless this initialization button gets open, so you cannot open this one, so you have to wait for a few minutes. So by this time I have to mention another thing is that we have chosen one dynamic public IP. Now the thing is that if I stop my instances to get out of my expenditure running to reduce my cost, because it will incur some cost every time when it is going to run. So to get out of this, if we stop these instances, so my IP also next time will get changed. So whatever IP address is there, you cannot share that IP address to open your WordPress blog later on, because next time when you are opening your WordPress server, that case your IP will again get changed, and with that changed IP you have to open your WordPress blog. So every time you will be assigned with a new IP. So what is the solution? Better you have to go for an elastic IP concept. Elastic IP is an IP that will not be associated with your WordPress server, rather it will be associated with your account. And if your WordPress server is stopped not being used for the time being, that will remain associated with your account. Now next time when you will open your WordPress blog, so immediately that IP will be assigned for that particular WordPress blog. Now this is more advantageous than assigning a normal IP, but in that case you will be charged very minimal amount when your IP will not be used. That means the chargeable system is in this case non-utilizations of your IP. Now my status check is now complete. Now you can go to your system log. So if you go to your system log, you will find out how your system is started, and entire system details you will get. Now we don't need this information, we need only the ID and password. So you will find out one place where the ID and password is being stored in the star in between these two star. So here is your ID and password. ID is user and password is this one. Just copy this one and go to your WordPress blog, log in, paste the password. Now you will get the dashboard. In the dashboard you can change whatever changes you want to make within your WordPress, and you can access the user also. And right now the hello world message is now published, so you can put it into trash also. So this post is not required. You can add a new post and it will be immediately shown into your account. So this is my IP. So right now I am in admin panel. Now if I paste this IP, it will show the users blog, and this is Shajul's blog, which is published on October 6th. So hope you understand this concept, and you can also create your WordPress blog, which is very much easy to start.